Welcome to our show. I'm Diana Ding, and today we invited Gautam Barve to our show, and he's going to run for the Santa Clara City Council, District 6, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, Diana. I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
thank you. You know, Indian TV is the voice of Silicon Valley Asian American, and we welcome all the our community leaders come here to share your story. And I'm so glad that you come here and share your dream and your passion. So tell us something about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Gautam Barve. I was born in New Jersey. My family relocated to India when I was 4 years old. I always considered myself to be American and wanted to come back to the US. So as soon as I completed my computer engineering degree, I relocated to Massachusetts to work for a financial software company as a business analyst. Then I relocated to Dallas, Texas, to do my full-time MBA at Southern Methodist University in entrepreneurial strategy and marketing. It was around this time that tragedy struck my life. I sort of was diagnosed with clinical depression-related illness. And now that I look back upon that time, this was around 2012, now that I look back at that time, I sort of realized that I had two options. You know, I could have either succumbed to the illness and withered away, or I could have fought back. And I think now that I look back at the event, I think I decided to fight back and relocated to here, to Santa Clara, in 2013 to work again for a technology company. It was I worked there for about a year and a half, and then I began to realize that while technology is a great profession, technology is not my calling in life. I sort of
So
realized
what
that.
is your calling in your life?
Yeah, great question. So I discussed this with my family, friends, with a lot of my mentors, and I realized that serving people and giving back to the community is something that I really enjoy and that I'm really passionate about. It's something that excites me very much and makes my life worth living. And so that is why I've
You-
decided to run for office. I have a big, bold vision for Santa Clara, and I want to try and realize it and have it in reality if that's possible.
I feel like any profession is serving community. Being in the high tech is also serving community, but decided to run an elected official, I would say that's more difficult. So where does your strength come from?
That's true. So that's a great question. I've always had an admiration for people who have courage and are fearless and run towards danger instead of away from danger. I'm not saying I am courageous or I'm not saying I am fearless, but I'm saying there has always been an endeavor of mine to sort of try and mold myself in that way to a certain extent.
Run into danger. What is the danger?
Well, there's always risk associated with running for office, I believe. I read a great book by President Donald Trump. It's titled Think Like a Champion. And there's a story in the book that talks about how to eliminate fear. And he says, think about fear not as an emotion, but think of it more as a concern. The minute you start thinking of it as a concern, you will start thinking of ways to alleviate that concern or overcome that concern. And the minute you begin to think in that manner, the fear starts to go away. Mm-hmm. And when you overcome that concern, the fear goes away completely and is replaced with a sense of confidence because you have managed to conquer a challenge. And I think it's a 3-page story in the book, but I think it's had a very profound and positive impact on my life.
I can feel that you are a fan of him, right?
Yes, yes.
But
I am a supporter, absolutely.
Let's focus on this. And so you see in Santa Clara, and what are the things need to be changed?
Yeah, I think so. I believe that Santa Clara is an incredible city. It's located in the Silicon Valley, in the greatest country on earth. But unfortunately, our city does not currently reflect this.
In what way?
So we are facing a budget deficit crisis in Santa Clara. There's a budget deficit of $22 million expected for the year 2021. Uh, so the question I asked myself is, how do we get our city from a deficit to a surplus, right? And there are certain definite ways by which we can achieve a surplus.
So what are you going to do differently?
Exactly. So I think the current council with Lisa Gilmore
Our mayor.
yes.
I love her actually.
Yes, and I respect that. And but the reality of my perception of the reality, at least, is that she controls the majority vote on the city council on most occasions, and I don't think she has the political will to implement some of the things that I have put forward as part of my political platform. So let me quickly cover some of those questions that come to mind, right?
So you see that she doesn't have the will. Where does this come from?
Exactly. So let me talk about a few of these issues, and I think that will help answer the question. Number one, why do we have the 10 p.m. curfew at the 49ers Stadium for concerts? For every concert that happens at the 49ers Levi Stadium, the city generates upwards of $500,000. Think about it, $500,000 per concert. If you extend the curfew by a little bit, you can have these concerts. And then why are we not having these concerts when we have a big budget deficit looming? That's question number one. Question number two, why do we have a moratorium on cannabis commercial sales in our city? If Santa Clarans want cannabis right now, all they have to do is walk across the border to San Jose, purchase the cannabis, and come back to Santa Clara, or they can have it delivered from San Jose to their homes in Santa Clara. So they have access, and we as Santa Clarans have access to cannabis. So then why do we not have dispensaries at appropriate safe locations and cultivation at appropriate indoor locations in Santa Clara when we can make millions of dollars of tax revenue based on the cannabis industry? That's the second question I have. And the current city council has placed a moratorium on cannabis sales. Question number three, why is the building permitting process so cumbersome in our city? It's making it extremely difficult for our businesses to plan their projects appropriately, and it's creating a lot of inefficiency in the way the city functions because it creates a lot of time delays. And the inefficiency, as you know, is directly proportional to cost. So why are we not improving the building permitting process? That's the third question I have. The fourth question is, why do we not have live and outdoor music at our restaurants? Why not make it easier and less cost prohibitive to have these live music at our restaurants? Most other cities permit this and make it very easy for restaurants to have these live music events all year round. So why do our businesses not have the competitive advantage when other cities permit it? And our city is missing out on tremendous sales tax revenue as well, because if we make our restaurants a venue that has a very positive vibe, it will attract more people, spending will increase. When spending increases, the city makes more taxes. So these are a few of the questions that come to mind. And just one other thing that I would like to mention is I'm in support of a big thriving downtown in our Santa Clara, where the old downtown used to be, that area. I think we need a lot of housing. We need to build vertically. Land is at a premium. And I believe that a great big downtown will lead to tremendous sales tax revenue for our city as well.
Yeah, I also like the downtown idea too.
Yes.
I think that we really need a downtown.
Yeah.
Because Santa Clara is a big city.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, those are really the good questions you thought about. But I think that, anyone, when you are on that position, you will see why it's so difficult, right? But who are you running against?
Yeah, I'm running against Mazzetti, Robert Mazzetti. He's basically going to be supported by Lisa. That's common knowledge. He's basically Lisa 2.0 if he gets elected to council. So a vote for Mazzetti is a vote for Lisa. I know some people might want that, and that's okay, but that's the reality. And then I'm running against Anthony Becker. Mr. Becker ran in 2016 for city council, got about 8% of the vote, and then he ran in 2018 for mayor and got 1/4 of the vote. So look, I'm not taking my opponents lightly. I'm in for a tough fight. I realize that. But I'm ready for the tough fight, and I'm looking forward to running a winning campaign and hopefully winning November 3rd, 2020.
Okay. Well, time is almost there. So
Okay.
thank you so much for coming to our show.
Thank you.
And wish you success.
Thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me. And let's make Santa Clara a fantastic city together. Thank you so much.
Thank you.